because I spent a lot of days being down, a lot of time being depressed, a lot of time beating up on myself. I was around a lot of the wrong people. I was around the wrong crowd. I was doing the wrong things. I didn't know my worth. I didn't know that God had so much more for me. I didn't know that life existed in this way. I did not know that you could live a positive, happy life. Moving on and healing are two different things. Leaving something in the past and healing are two different things. At 19, I couldn't have seen myself here. At 17, I couldn't have seen myself here. My entire life, I would have never known that God had this for me. And it's crazy.
Let's stand together wherever you go, I'm going. When no one's left, ain't no need to be stressed, you'll be right there. You keep on pouring and it's overflowing in blessings. You showed me love, thought it didn't exist, but it's right.
So I recently turned 25, you guys, and honestly, it was a bittersweet moment for me. In the midst of being confused, in the midst of feeling some type of way, I somehow, some way know that God has been in my life this whole time, and he's going to continue to show his hand throughout my life. I sometimes clutter myself with like so many different tasks and so many different things to keep myself busy rather than being productive. And that's something that I've kind of learned how to do differently going forward. Like, I'm no longer trying to be busy. I'm trying to make sure I'm doing things that actually moves the needle forward in my life, and especially in business and so many different things that I'm doing. I no longer have the time to sit here and try to do all things and end up doing nothing. That's just a reminder for anyone who is constantly busy but seems to never get anything done. Do the priority tasks first. Do the things that matter. Do the things that actually is going to make a difference by the end of your day. I've learned a lot about healing. I've learned a lot about growth. You know, I've come to a place where I have let go of past traumas. And even recently, I think I spoke about this in a recent video, or I'm going to speak about this in a recent video. There was a conversation I had not too long ago that reminded me that I didn't heal from something, and I didn't even remember that, you know, this situation took place. It wasn't until I talked about it and I cried about it and I let it out that I realized 6-7 years later that I had trauma that I wasn't completely healed from. And now that I know how to talk about things and express my emotions and kind of like release, it has been such a blessing, because there's a lot of things that we go through as people, human beings, that we maybe don't know still exist somewhere in our being. It was ironic because God had brought something up to my remembrance, and then I had a conversation about it that brought up old emotions that I didn't even know I had. But it was as if I was still in that situation, or as if I was experiencing something all over again, and I wasn't. And so I encourage you to look at your life and take a real look into the things you've been through, and even some of the things you don't remember that are there. Talk about those things as hard as it can be, as emotional as it can be, because it's going to bring up old feelings and it's going to bring up old things that you don't want to think about. But it's important for you to do that, and it's essential for your growth. And I'll say that now that I've talked about it and I've expressed it, you know, I'm in a place where I'm so happy and so blessed that I'm no longer in certain relationships, certain situations. And some of you guys maybe have been in certain similar situations that you maybe haven't even healed from. You've just moved past, you've moved on from it. Moving on and healing are two different things. Leaving something in the past and healing are two different things. And I think it's important for us to remember that. And so if there's anybody from your past that you haven't forgiven, or certain things that, you know, you've gone through that maybe you just didn't even care to deal with at the time, I encourage you to deal with it now. Because if you don't deal with it now, you're going to deal with it at some point while you're still becoming and growing into the person that you're destined to be. And every single day, no matter how old or how young you are, you're going to continue to grow if you allow yourself, because God's going to continue to allow things to take place in your life to push you forward. But ultimately, it's up to you to decide whether or not you're going to go on the journey with God. I don't know why I feel like I've been 25 though. Like, it was just the thought of what everyone says, you know, 25 is that turning year for most people, and it's the year where life changes for you. And, you know, it's just sometimes it can be a scary age, you know, but now that I'm here, I'm like, oh, it's not as much pressure as I thought, because your time frame is not God's timeline, and whatever you want to get done in a certain time frame ultimately is up to God and what he wants you to do in your life. And once I've come to grips with that, I feel much better. You know, like, if God wants me to do anything by a certain age, it's ultimately his will, not my own. And so, you know, if you're recently turned 25, or maybe you're a lot older than me, I don't know, how was it for you turning 25? Did you feel the same? Did you have the same emotions? Were you nervous? Did people scare you about this quarter life age? Or is it just me? Like, I don't know. I overthink sometimes, but I'm happy to be here. I'm happy that, you know, I have so much more life to live, and I have so much more growth to do. And there's a lot of different things happening in my life right now, like getting ready to move out of our apartment that we've lived in for almost 4 years. This was the start. This was where everything took place, and this is where a lot of my first ideas and everything happened here. Like, and so it's a bittersweet moment, but I am super excited to move forward, to go where I'm going now. And I'll just say that take the journey for what it is. Love your journey, love your process, love everything about it. And this is a reminder to myself, because not every day have I been so gracious or kind to myself on my journey. And so take it from me. I wish I would have been a little bit more kind, knowing that it's all going to get figured out with God. And the only way it doesn't get figured out is when you try and do things on your own. And so I'll just say, be patient, be kind to yourself on your journey, whether you're 25 or you're 35 or you're 55, whatever the case may be. Your journey is your journey. Your process is your process. And that's just what it is. Like, God is going to continue to guide you on your journey. He's going to continue to develop you into the person that you need to be. If there's any area that you need to work on, God is going to reveal that to you. There's no hiding it. Like, there's no hiding the things that you think that you've healed from and you haven't. There's no hiding the fact that, you know, there's still growth that needs to be done in each and every single one of our lives. And so I'm excited for what's to come. I'm ready. I'm nervous because I have a whole house to pack. Of course, I have the help of my fiance and everything, but we're literally moving 4 hours away, which I'm excited about because it'll be like my first real new beginning. Like, I've lived away from my parents before, but it has always been a place that we're from. You okay? It's always been a place that we're from or we're familiar to. And so moving 4 hours away from where we currently are is going to be new for me. It'll be new for my fiance as well. It'll be both of our new experiences. But that's where the most growth comes from. And I'm excited because it makes you uncomfortable, not being familiar with something. It gets you out of your comfort zone. It makes you literally have to try new things, get used to new things. And so, hi, baby. You okay? He said, Mama. Oh, my baby. But yeah, you guys, I could go on. I love you. I could go on. But let me just say, come on the journey with me for the rest of our lives. And as long as God allows me to do what I love, you will see my growth. You will see my process. You'll see my up days, my down days, and I will be very transparent about all of them. But I'm excited, and I want to continue to show my life and document my life for other people who might be experiencing the same emotions or the same feelings that I'm feeling. If you feel down, if you feel confused, if you're a new mom, if this is your first time doing something, chances are we've all been in the same situation, or we'll all end up in the same situation at some point. At 19, I couldn't have seen myself here. At 17, I couldn't have seen myself here. My entire life, I would have never known that God had this for me. And it's crazy because I spent a lot of days being down, a lot of time being depressed, a lot of time beating up on myself. I was around a lot of the wrong people. I was around the wrong crowd. I was doing the wrong things. I didn't know my worth. I didn't know that God had so much more for me. I didn't know that life existed in this way. I did not know that you could live a positive, happy life if you just come to God. And as many years as I tried, I wasn't really all the way in. And I didn't really know God before. Like, I didn't know that he loved me. I didn't know what love was. And in the midst of all my confusion, God still found me. In the midst of all my mistakes, God still loved me. And even to this day, God is still with me and guiding me through it all. And I want to leave you with that because it's real and it's the truth. So don't think that your life is too messed up for God to fix up. God, throughout the Bible, has changed even the worst of people's lives. The people that we think don't stand a chance in God's eyes are the ones that he loves and who he gravitates to the most, because he's near to the brokenhearted. He's going to be there to help you and heal you and guide you because he wants you to be loved, and he is love. 25 years of life has been great. I've learned a lot, and I'm going to continue to learn more. And I will even express in more detail more of what I've learned. This is just a quick little video, but I think it'll be interesting to talk about what I've learned in more depth and kind of really dig deep about all of the things, you know what I mean? So with all that being said, I love you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Make sure you subscribe and comment your favorite part below. Bye.